My name is Alex Rivera, and I've lived in Willow Creek Estates for 3 years. It's one of those cookie-cutter suburbs where every lawn has to look like a golf course, and the mailboxes are all the same shade of beige. I bought the house because it was quiet. I was wrong. It started with a pink violation notice taped to my front door. Grass height exceeds 3.5 inches. Immediate correction required. $300 daily fine until compliance. Signed, Karen Whitmore, HOA president. Karen didn't knock. She didn't call. She just slapped fines on anyone who dared to breathe wrong. I measured my grass with a ruler that same afternoon. It was 3.7 inches. I mowed it down to 3.2 just to be safe. The next morning, another pink slip. Uneven blade height detected. $300 day. By the end of the week, I owed $2,100. For aesthetic inconsistencies, I went to the monthly HOA meeting to appeal. Karen sat at the folding table like a queen on a throne. Gavel in hand, lips painted the color of fresh blood. "Rules are rules, Mr. Rivera," she sneered. "Pay or face lien." I asked to see the bylaws that allowed $300 daily fines. She smiled and said they were being updated. I asked for receipts on where my $800 annual dues were going. She banged the gavel and moved to the next item. That night, I started noticing things. Karen drove a brand new white Escalade every 6 months. She wore diamond earrings that looked suspiciously heavy for an unemployed widow. And every time someone got fined, her garage door would go up at 2 a.m. and stay open exactly 7 minutes. I know because I started watching. I paid the first $2,100 just to stop the bleeding, but the fines kept coming. Dead leaves in the gutter. Holiday lights up 3 days early. A recycling bin left out 17 minutes past. 8 p.m. By month 2, I was at $18,000 in fines and counting. That's when I decided I wasn't going to be her ATM anymore. I bought a cheap security camera and pointed it at my own yard. Whatever game Karen was playing, I was going to document every move. I had no idea I was about to catch the queen stealing from her own kingdom. The camera recorded in 4K, night vision sharp enough to read license plates. I set it up on a tripod in my late dad used for birdwatching, aimed it at my driveway, and let it run 24/7. For 2 weeks, it caught nothing but squirrels and the Amazon guy. Then, on a Tuesday at 2:07 a.m., Karen's garage door rolled up. A black Tahoe with no plates backed in. 2 minutes later, it pulled out. Door down. 7 minutes total, same as always. I zoomed in on the footage. The Tahoe's rear hatch was open just long enough for me to see. Cardboard banker's boxes stacked like bricks. The driver wore a ski mask even though it was 68 degrees. I started cross-referencing. Every time someone paid a big fine, like the $9,000 Mrs. Chen paid for her unapproved koi pond, Karen's garage performed its little midnight ballet within 48 hours. I made a spreadsheet. Over 14 months, the neighborhood had been hit with $312,000 in fines. Our regular dues added another, $184,000. Yet, the community pool still had cracked tiles. The entrance sign was peeling, and the new playground Karen kept promising was still a patch of dirt. I took my evidence to the board treasurer, mild-mannered Mr. Patel. He stared at my printouts for 30 seconds and went pale. "Alex," he whispered, "I've been asking for bank statements for a year. She tells me they're with the accountant. There is no accountant. We scheduled an emergency board meeting. Karen canceled it, claiming COVID exposure. We rescheduled. She claimed her mother died. Third time she simply didn't show, but posted on Nextdoor that certain residents were trying to stage a coup. That's when I did something reckless. I knocked on her door at 1:45 a.m. the next time the Tahoe was scheduled. She answered in a silk robe, hair perfect, eyes wild-eyed. "You're harassing me," she hissed. "Where's the money, Karen?" She slammed the door. I heard the deadbolt, then the garage door opener whirring. The Tahoe never came that night. She knew I was watching. 2 days later, a new pink notice appeared. 300 day for surveillance. Equipment visible from street. The war was officially on. Karen escalated faster than I expected. The next morning, a tow truck hooked my car at 6:03 a.m. for parking, facing the wrong direction. I ran outside in boxers. The driver just shrugged and said, "HOA contract." My Camry vanished before I finished my coffee. By noon, my bank account was frozen. Karen had filed a lien papers claiming I owed $47,300. The county clerk's stamp was still wet. I drove to the courthouse in my neighbor's borrowed pickup. The clerk let me see the lien file. Inside was a forged signature, mine, on a confession of judgment, dated 3 months earlier. Karen had backdated everything. That night, I broke my own rule. I waited until 3 a.m., hopped the fence between our yards, and crept to her garage side door. It was unlocked. Arrogance or trap, I didn't care anymore. Inside smelled like new paint and money. Stacks of bankers' boxes lined the walls like library shelves. I pried one open with my pocket knife. Bundles of cash, rubber-banded, each labeled with a resident's name and violation. Chen, Koipon 9K, Rivera, Grass 18K, Patel, Holiday Lights 6K. I took photos until my phone storage cried, then grabbed one bundle as proof. Mrs. Chen's name in Karen's handwriting on the band. Headlights swept the alley. I barely made it over the fence before the Tahoe rolled in. This time I saw the driver's face in the porch light. Derek Whitmore, Karen's dead brother who supposedly lived in Nevada. I ran home, uploaded everything to 3 separate cloud drives, and emailed the folder to myself, Mr. Patel, and an old college friend who's now a detective with County Sheriff's Office. At 8:17 a.m., my phone rang. Unknown. "Delete the files, Alex." Karen's voice was ice. "Or the next lien won't be on your house. It'll be on your life." Click. I stared at the bundle of Mrs. Chen's cash on my kitchen table. $87,000 in hundreds, still smelling like Karen's garage. I called my detective friend back and said the words I never thought I'd say. "I need to report a crime, and I have the evidence in my hands right now." The sheriff's detective, Marcus Hayes, showed up at my door at 6:42 a.m. with 2 uniformed deputies and a warrant. I handed him the rubber-banded cash and a thumb drive containing every photo, video, and spreadsheet. He didn't smile. He just nodded like he'd seen this movie before. By 7:15 a.m., 6 unmarked cars and a K-9 unit rolled into Willow Creek Estates. Half the neighborhood was in bathrobes on their lawns, filming with phones. Karen stepped outside in yoga pants and full makeup, screaming about illegal search and police brutality before they even knocked. Marcus read the warrant aloud on her front porch. Karen tried to slam the door. A deputy's boot stopped it. The body cam footage later went viral. They started in the garage. The banker's boxes were exactly where I'd left them, 87 of them. To be exact. Total cash, $87,400. Every bundle labeled, dated, and initialed in Karen's looping cursive. Then they found the safe behind the false wall. It took the K-9 20 seconds to sit and alert. A deputy with a breaching tool popped it in one swing. Inside, another $127,000 in cash. 3 Rolexes reported stolen from a neighbor's burglary 2 years ago. And a ledger listing every fine ever issued since. Karen took power in 2019. Total embezzled, $312,600 in fines plus $189,000 in dues, almost $500,000. Karen's meltdown was legendary. She lunged for the ledger, shrieking that it was planted. A female deputy cuffed her while she kicked and screamed about her rights. Derek tried to rabbit out the back. The K-9 took him down in the petunias. As they walked Karen to the cruiser, she locked eyes with me across the street. "This isn't over, Alex." Spit flew from her red lips. "I know people." Marcus leaned in as he passed me. "She's going away for a long time. Felony theft, forgery, filing false instruments, tax evasion. IRS is already on the way." I looked at the tow truck returning my Camry, at neighbors hugging and crying, at kids riding bikes in the street for the first time in years. For the first time since I moved here, the grass didn't feel like a prison. Karen's arraignment was standing room only. Half the neighborhood showed up wearing T-shirts that read Free Willow Creek. She walked in wearing an orange jumpsuit 2 sizes too big, hair flat, no makeup. The queen looked mortal. The prosecutor laid it out like a crime novel. 6 years of systematic theft, $501,200 total, laundered through fake vendors with names like Whitmore Landscape LLC and Premier Pool. Every invoice was signed by Derek in crayon-level forgeries. The judge denied bail. Karen sobbed so hard the bailiff handed her tissues. 3 weeks later, we held an emergency. Election. Mr. Patel became interim president. First motion, abolish all fines forever. Second motion, refund every penny with interest from the recovered cash. My 47 of the $300 lien vanished before lunch. Mrs. Chen got her koi pond money back in a ceremonial envelope on her doorstep. The single mom on lot 127 cried when her $11,000 holiday lights fine was returned in full. Kids used the empty banker's boxes to build forts in the cul-de-sacs. The county forced the HOA to dissolve the old board and rewrite the covenants. Daily fines? Gone. Approved paint colors? Pick whatever you want. Christmas lights in October? Have at it. The new bylaws fit on 3 pages instead of 47. Karen took a plea. 12 years, no parole possible in 8. Derek got 10. On sentencing day, she tried one last performance, claiming she was only borrowing the money for community improvements. The judge wasn't amused. The Escalade, the diamonds, the Rolexes, everything was auctioned. Proceeds funded the playground Karen always promised but never built. It opened last month with a ribbon cutting and free snow cones. Someone hung a plaque that reads, "Paid for by the former management." I still have the very first pink violation notice laminated on my fridge. Like a war trophy. My grass is 4.1 inches tall now and nobody cares. Sometimes I catch myself smiling at the Amazon guy when he parks crooked. Yesterday, a moving truck pulled up to Karen's old house. The new neighbors are a young couple with a toddler and a golden retriever. They painted the front door bright teal on day 1. I brought them cookies and told them the only rule left around here: be decent to each other. Welcome to the neighborhood.